Hi everyone, welcome back to the Always Blue podcast. How's it going, Team Flyer? We're back. It's February. We're wearing all the pink and all the colors, and we have a special guest this month. She's the star of our month. My goodness, our go-to-fly guest, Giulia. So let's welcome Giulia. Hi.
Hi.
How are you, my love?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
Very wonderful. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited to participate in not only your event, which we'll get to that, but more so have you here and share your story and share your truth. My goodness gracious. So can you tell us a little bit about your backstory first?
Sure. I am a mom of a 3-year-old girl, Coral. I used to live in London before coming to Barcelona, and I got pregnant here in Barcelona. After 8 years that we tried to become pregnant in London, without any luck. We tried twice IVF and it didn't work. And then since I met my husband 15 years ago, he told me that he wanted to move to Barcelona. So we actually, after 10 years being together, we decided to move to Barcelona, and it was a fantastic move because actually the relaxing life, if you want to call it like this, helped to become pregnant. And actually I had a further appointment booked to get a further treatment of IVF, and I got pregnant naturally here in Barcelona.
Wow, talk about a magical city. My goodness. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And actually me and my husband, we met on the 22nd of February.
Oh, yeah. I love the 22nd of February. Do.
And I found out that I was pregnant on the 22nd of February.
That's so special.
Yeah.
You're so connected. Now we need to give you a necklace that says 222.
Yes.
That's your next necklace.
For us, 22 is a very good number. We got married on the 22nd. My daughter almost was born on the 22nd. She was born on the 23rd.
Well, almost there. It depends on the timeline. It depends on the time. But 23rd, it's like, well, I'll share a little bit of the magic.
Exactly.
But I have my own. She came with her own magic.
I think so.
Right? My goodness. So, first of all, thank you for sharing the stories. I mean, we had many podcast guests as well to share pregnancy stories and pregnancy scares and losses. And it's super important to talk about that, to make sure that those stories are seen and heard for people who aren't moms, people who are moms, and everything in between, because we're human. So my goodness, I'm really happy that Coral is with us, and that, oh goodness, that's all the happy chills. So you did your whole story. What led you to become an entrepreneur?
When in London, I used to work for a company organizing events in London and around the world.
It makes sense with what you do.
Yes. And I loved it. It is my passion, organizing events in my personal life, in my professional life. I love it. So it's part of me. And when we moved here, I kept working for the same company. But then when I got pregnant, actually, it was just after the lockdown, and my boss asked me to go back to London because I was the head of operation of this company, so he felt that he needed me to be there with the team. And I was like, no way. I had a 6-month-old baby, and living in London with a baby, I don't think it would be possible for me. I think that's why my body was not.
It was like, no, not here, not here. London and Barcelona are very, very different vibes.
So I was like, I didn't even think about it. My husband was like, what did you think about it? No. I said, look, I'm not going back. So I didn't go back. And so that's when I started to look for other jobs. And I always had it in my mind to create an event, something. And I didn't know exactly what, but with the pregnancy, actually being pregnant made me feel really lonely, and I think hormones are not good for my body, and I was always really sad, and I was feeling lonely above all because all my friends were not in the same stage as me, so I needed other women to connect and share experiences, because as we said, it's so important. And that's when I created a group from pregnant women, and it was amazing. I met amazing women that are still my good friends, and our kids are the same age. And I wanted to keep organizing events for these women, but when I had the baby, I mean, it was impossible. It's really hard to organize your life with a baby.
I can only imagine, but yes.
And the husband, I mean, it's really hard. I didn't expect it to be like this at all. And so I stopped it, but I had still always in my mind to organize something. And only last year, when I worked for a Mobile World Congress, a corporate event here in Barcelona, and they didn't renew my contract. It was a temporary contract. They didn't renew it, and I think everything happened for a reason.
It always does.
Absolutely. And I was like, I was a bit sad, but I think I was sad just because my parents were like, oh, this is a good job. But then actually it was like, this is not what I want to do. I'm going to stop looking for this kind of jobs, because this is not what I want to do. What I want to do is my own event. And I think I actually read, I wrote a sentence in 2020 in my diary, which says, when passion meets purpose, that's when magic happens. And it is
I love that quote. My goodness.
I love it.
Wait, say it one more time. When passion meets
purpose, that's when magic happens.
Okay.
And that's what happened to me. So I was like, I love organizing events, and my purpose then was to connect with other women, share experiences, and increase knowledge about motherhood, because I am a person that loves reading about everything that I'm living in that moment of my life. So I started reading books.
I can see that. I also understand. Yeah.
I want to be. I want to understand what I'm going through. So I was reading lots of books about kids. I mean, I did so many courses about sleeping, about anything. So I'm an expert on everything, I can say. But there are people that are not like this, and it's good to go to a place where you can actually get all this information.
So true. That's very useful.
Yeah, no? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna create an event for this purpose. And I was like, at the end of the day, what do I need to do? I just need to find a venue. I mean, I'm an event organizer since 20 years.
I feel like it's very easy for you. That is good to know. That's a nice checkpoint right there.
And then I was like, I need to choose the date. So I called my friend who was a psychologist, and she was going to be part of the event. I was like, when are you available in October? Okay, 19th of October, let's do it. And that's when I became an entrepreneur. I decided that I wanted to keep doing this. I love it. When I started, the magic happened. So everything came my way, and I love it. Living like this is so much better than working for someone else and creating something that makes me feel so good. It's amazing. So that's
the story, basically. So you just followed your passion.
Absolutely.
You took the steps to get there, because a lot of people miss that as well. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put this on my vision board. I'm like, no, babes. Follow the steps. Find the people.
Absolutely.
And you and me are a lot alike, because I'm one of those people as well that if I have a vision in my mind and then I have a date, not a date, but I have a person, I'm like, when are you available? This one? Okay, we know it's this one. How we're gonna get there, we don't know yet, but we know it's in this case, it was October 19th last year. So I get it. My goodness. So, for the next thing, what was one of the biggest challenges though that you faced? Because you started your entrepreneurial journey when your baby girl was more or less 6 months, or a little bit later? 6 months, and she's 3 now. So it's been a while though. It's been a while.
No. Actually, I worked for other companies in the meanwhile. So no, it was I was working. I was self-employed for 2 years. So I started the last year actually. So my baby girl was like 2 years and a half.
All right, so you took some time.
Yeah.
So you had time with her, a little bit more for one-on-one, of course, while you were still working for other people, etc. So it's been roughly, I want to say, about 6-7 months.
Yeah, correct.
So very new, which is absolutely fine. We get it. We've all been there. What's been one of the challenges of balance between motherhood and being a full entrepreneur.
Yeah. So the challenges, I mean, are that obviously you don't have the security of salary.
A salary.
I don't care. I tell my parents are like very stressed about this. I'm not.
I'm happy.
Yeah, money.
And you're making a difference.
Yes.
You're helping so many women out there.
Money is not that important. I mean, I felt when I was younger, I used to always want more for salary. I remember I was going to my boss, and my boss was giving me an increase in salary, and I was never happy. And he was like, Giulia, you will never be happy. You always want more. And I was like, but it's true. Why do I want more if I can live with that and I'm okay? Fuck the money.
It's fine. It's fine.
Money don't make happiness. So I managed actually before I started this life as an entrepreneur. I worked for the Mobile World Congress, so I was earning very well. Then I worked for another project. I made some money, and then for 6 months on organizing my event, I didn't earn any money, but I was happy, and it's fine.
But I was happy. That's the most important thing.
So now again, I'm not earning any money, but I know that I have another project coming up. So yeah, that's the most challenging thing. Because you don't know, and having a baby and having an expensive flight here because I'm not as cheap as you think.
It's Barcelona. It's very expensive.
So yeah, that's a big challenge.
I agree. All right. So before you started your own, did you find any other support networks or communities here in Barcelona that like made you feel welcome that way, or did you see like we're really missing this and this is why I'm going forward?
Definitely, I did. So actually, when I created my event, I saw a group of moms that was doing what I thought I wanted to do. And I was like, Giulia, don't feel like they've created what you wanted to create, and just go participate, see what it is. And actually going to that gave me the possibility to understand actually I didn't want to do that because it was an event every week, and it was not really what I wanted. So I decided to do the event, and then I started to take part to the event organized by Amy, Mamas and Bees, and there where I felt like these are my kind of women I want to hang out with. And that's when I started to find the speakers for my event, because they were all amazing entrepreneur women that could collaborate with me. And that's what I loved as well, the collaboration, the supporting each other.
Yes.
That makes me feel so good. And to be honest, I think what we've been taught is that you should always be better than others, or there was not this supportive thing when my parents were younger, I think. And now it's amazing, just supporting, collaborating.
I love seeing that. I love it. I always write community over competition.
Oh, the competition.
Whoever's gonna like you is gonna like you, and even if the person next to you is doing the same thing, that's okay. They're in their lane, you're in yours. Period.
Yeah.
Because if you want to come and listen to me, then hey, welcome in, you know. And that's it is. And then on top of that's the community, because even though once again, obviously I'm not a mom yet, I have plenty of other communities that I love to help and advocate for many different things. And I'm like, well, that's what we're here for, togetherness.
Yeah.
And much like that, when I paired up with you and with Amy as well, for Mamas and Ms, just finding ways for us to support each other.
Yeah.
And that's what the world really needs. It's not the money.
No.
Money is there. It's a piece of paper. We got it. It's the community. It's the teamwork. It's showing up for one another. Understanding that we're human. Understanding all the different aspects of life as well.
Yeah, so I'm now part of also Barcelona Women Network.
Oh, also true, yes. Barcelona Women's Network is amazing as well.
So good, so many deep. While Mamas and Bees are more entrepreneur, there is like women of entrepreneurs, well, but of all ages, and so inspiring, you know.
And all different backgrounds. It's just really wonderful as well.
I love it. Yeah,
I do agree. I really like it. All right, so how do you balance the demands between being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a mom?
That's so now that I'm working for myself, I feel like, well, before I wanted to have more time for my kid. Now I have it if I want to, but I would love to spend all my time working. I love working for my project, and I'm like, I want to work more. So yeah, balance is trying to find time for yourself and your family, and think, okay, yeah, it's my project, but let's relax.
That's how I'll go crazy. I've tended before, and I'm still, working it through therapy to be a workaholic, especially when it's a passion project, especially something that you absolutely adore and you're so good at it and you want to give it to the world. And you're like, wait, I still want to dance, and I still need to go to therapy, and we still have a social life, XYZ, so the balance.
Yeah.
You keep the balance.
Yeah.
All right, so it's like a reminder that you have every day, basically. Like, nope, it's 5 o'clock on the dot. I have to go with my kid right now because I'll do it tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or taking time for yourself. For example, Amy invited us to be part of this choir.
Oh my gosh, the choir with vocal core. Oh, I love it.
And I was like, I don't have enough time to do that. So I was like, you know what? I find the time. I want to do it.
That's so nice. Like, to yourself. Like, not only to Amy, not only to vocal core, shout out to them as well, but to yourself. That's such a gift to yourself.
Yeah.
That is wonderful that you're like, I have a million things going on, but for 2 hours a week, I'm going to go sing.
Yeah.
And just be happy. You're always happy, but you can just be in your space, basically, because we don't have any other thoughts in those 2 hours than literally singing what's in front of us. So I agree with that. Nice, those balances. All right, so now, of course, we're finally going to talk about the event. What is happening? What is happening February 14th this year for us, for you, for me, for us, for the community?
So the event that I created which is my baby as well. That's why
it is our baby, though. It is.
Now it's a second baby. So it's called the Real Truth About Motherhood. And the reason why it's called like this is because it's the reality of what motherhood is that I didn't expect. And my mother was always asking me, what did you expect? I didn't expect this, because no one tells you the truth, So that's why Real Truth About
Motherhood. The real truth in your face. The real truth, okay? The nitty gritty details of motherhood. Yay for me.
And my mom thought as well, maybe you don't want other people to have kids, but it's not that. I'm not pushing people not to have kids, but it's just to be aware of what's happening when you're a mom. So this event is going to happen on the 14th of February at Juno House, Barcelona, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be full of talks, workshops, and a room to share experiences. So it's gonna be part of that.
Exactly.
And the reason why in the first event we didn't have a room to share experiences, but as it is one of the pillars of my event, really, I thought that it was needed. And so it's a room where other women share their experiences in order to empower other women. And I think it's so powerful. I mean, Ariadna's story is amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but it's amazing. And we have so many other women who are going to share incredible stories. And I think when you hear other people telling their stories, which are difficult, then you feel not much better, but empowered.
No, but you do feel empowered. I mean, this is why I created the Always Believer podcast, the Always Believer community, as you already know. I mean, I'm already 5 seasons in, and every single guest is this. They shared their side of their truth, their side of their story, and there's somebody out there who experienced the same or similar, who also maybe actually wanted to have a kid in London, all of a sudden came to Barcelona and got pregnant here because, apparently Barcelona is the place to be. But regardless, or the other way around, who knows as well. And it's the more we share our stories and we speak our truth and we speak our mind, and not in a selfish way, kind of the opposite, once again, going back to community, that's what it is. And your first event, I mean, I'll link it down below, of course, as always. I did a whole YouTube video about it and more videos online as well, because it impacted me so much coming from a non-mom, which is crazy, which is I even though I've always been surrounded by kids, I foster mom or babysitting or teaching them. I have 3-year-olds every week still, and tons of them, to be honest. So the fact that even though I'm always surrounded by them, I never put myself in those situations of like, there's Real Truth of Motherhood or Mamas in Biz. I'm like, well, that's for you girls, which is awesome, you know? So the fact that you opened up that space as well for us to share that experience and many other experiences along the way, that's the real impact. Like, that's what it is. And I agree with you because I do the same thing, girl. Like, this is what we're here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sharing experiences. And so it will be sharing experiences, talks from experts, talking about nutrition, non-violence communication, and much more. And then a room for workshops. So from yoga family to art therapy, and much more. So it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
It's so exciting. I'm really excited to see all the things. So this one feels a lot bigger.
Yeah.
This one's bigger, right?
Yeah.
It has a feeling. The first one was already pretty big because you did a really banging job. Like, you had tons of activities to do, tons of not only activities but the talks as well, both in Spanish and in English.
Yeah.
And you gotta love, like, we had yoga, we had the dance party, of course. The release, we had like, it wasn't tarot, but it was just like, there was so many things. That's so nice. And this is like bigger.
Yeah, bigger.
In Spanish and in English?
Spanish and English, yes.
Very good. There we go. Available for everybody, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, more questions, a little bit event aside, on your daily life. How do you involve your child in your entrepreneur life?
I must say that my daughter is actually, thanks to her, I gave birth to my event because that's the difficulty part of being a mom that brought me to create an event like this. So everything I live with her make me think about new ideas and new things that I can do for my event.
It's like this little moment that we had, this little mini argument you and me had of the temple tantrum. I know exactly what I'm going to do now. Thank you, Coral. Thank you.
She's helping, and I want to create I don't want to exaggerate, but a world with better moms and more aware and more conscious of what they are doing and the way they are treating their kids, you know?
I would love that. I think that is needed. That's been needed for a while now, for quite a few years. I know it's weird coming from a non-mom, but it's so true. Yeah. I'm a teacher and I see it and I feel it, and I was like, oh, there's so many other ways, and I'm not going to step on anybody's toes. I don't know what it is just yet. But if there's something in the making of like, hey, a not tutorial, but like a course, something or other that you and a few others that I know you're magical at doing that, I agree. Yeah. Because we all need help, and we're all not born to be parents, and we're not taught to be parents. We're not taught to be anything, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
We're self-taught all the way through.
I think that we need courses for parents from school, because you don't know what you're doing. And one of the speakers, she's going to talk about how to make teenagers resilient, because she was doing it. She was working with adults, but she was like, but we better work on teenagers so they don't become like this, and you don't need to do the work.
I love that.
I love that.
Oh my goodness.
So
I also work with teenagers, and I've been working with teenagers for the past 3 years. Because I taught them for like a few years ago. I stopped and I went to littles, and I love my littles, and I'm used to them. They're easy, so to speak. But then I went to teenagers on purpose. I'm like, I need a challenge in my life, and they're a challenge in the best way possible. The same way the 3-year-old is a challenge, the 15-year-old is definitely a challenge. So it's really nice to try to find ways to get through to them and have them be resilient and have them like also feel seen and loved and nurtured and helped. Yeah. Just because you're 16 and you're out in the world and the public transport and you're not as much time at home, you're still needed to be loved and nurtured and held and all these sorts of things. Yeah. That is so cool. You gotta do this idea. Yeah. You gotta do this course. Some way, somehow. The ideas are making right now. They're creating. Without a doubt. Oh, that is really, really cool.
And also, at this event, it's gonna be divided in sections. While at the other event, it was talks for everyone. Now it's gonna be, the first part is gonna be mostly for future new moms, talking about the first years of the baby, and then toddlers, and then teenagers. Because I remember that when we were talking about the event Real Truth About Motherhood, there were moms of teenagers, and they were like, no, like I'm not a mom, and I mean, I'm not coming to these events. But no, you have so much to learn.
So much to learn and so much to give as well. Like we want to know, especially for the ones, not only to learn, which is perfect and needed, but also like the community itself. Imagine whoever has a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old is like, oh, let me help you because like this is this and this is that, you know?
Yeah.
So you can kind of lean on each other as well.
Yeah.
It's not. I like that as well with your event. That's not just focused on babies and toddlers, which we all need help. I get it, but teenagers as well.
Yeah.
Teenagers as well.
Yeah.
And then like those decisions.
And also is open to everyone, even if it's called the Real Truth About Motherhood. Is because I am a mom, but it's open to everyone because everyone is needs to learn to listen to these topics that are gonna be talk about. And actually, as you were saying, no moms as well, because if you're not sure, or you are, or you, but even if you are sure, just to know what's gonna happen, just to give you an idea.
It's a nice peek in, to be honest. But also what happened with me with your event when the original one, the first one, and I'm so freaking happy and blessed that I did that. Like our lives crossed that way. I'm like, oh my god, I'm here. Because it's for the first time ever I felt a community behind me. And not behind me because I'm superior once again, just kind of just as a support. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not even a mom yet, and I know that there's people here that whenever I have a doubt or whenever I'm thinking about getting pregnant or whenever I need X, like they're there because you put them all together. So instead of having to search, they're all together.
Yeah.
And you have, I know in the future you'll set up like your website and all these sorts of cool things, and I know you're gonna have all that information there. Yeah. So, and the fact that I know you're not doing weekly events is something you didn't want to do, but even if you're doing this event every 4 months, it's still like a renewed energy. Yeah. Like it's still not only a lot to make and create, of course, but you're always refreshed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that it's that. Congratulations! My goodness, girlie. Seriously. So before the big event, you did 2 mini events. Can you explain to us where did it happen? Who went? What are mini events?
So the idea to have these events was to introduce the speakers to our audience and to give a bit of an idea of what the event is if you haven't participated before. So we had the first one at Club de Madres en el Clot, where we had the speakers of the new future new mom section talking and introducing themselves and telling us what they would have said during the event. And then we had another one for the toddler section at the Backstory bookstore, which is amazing.
Amazing. best bookstore in the city.
And it was with the toddler section, the speakers from the toddler section, same format. And then last one is for the teenager, and it's gonna be in a cafe in Costa del Sands.
Nice. So 3 events that you divided it into like the 3 sections. Correct. Which is absolutely ideal. I love that you did the little get to know us as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very useful.
Yeah.
To have like, once again, like a little peek in, like, hi, this is us. Come hither, come have fun with us a little bit, listen to what we're all about. You're doing such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
My goodness. So, before we start wrapping this up a little bit, what would your advice be for someone who, much like you as a mom, has a 3-year-old maybe, or a newborn, or things like that, and wants to be an entrepreneur? I'm not saying at the same events by any means, but just wants to put her passion out there. And what was the quote again? Passion meets purpose. So she knows her purpose, she knows her passion. Exactly, she wants to create that magic. What is your piece of advice?
I think the piece of advice is make the first step. That's do it, because I was always scared about that, and it's like, what do you do? And I remember I was talking with my grandmother as well, and she was like, Giulia, do it with my grandmother. And what I did is, because everyone was always asking me, how are you gonna make money? I was like, I don't want to make money, I said. But I said, I'll take this pressure off. I don't want to make money. I do it just for my. I need it. I want to do it, and when I was going to the psychologist, she was telling me, "This is your therapy." It's true. I would just want to do it. I don't care about the money. It's not because of the money that I'm doing it. So if you understand what you want to do it. It doesn't matter what. And think that you're not making it for the money. You are making it because it makes you feel good. So there is a different, something different that is pushing you. That is, which is the purpose. Which makes the magic happen. Because if you don't have it, then if you do it for the money, it's not the same. You will never get to the same point. And if you're doing it for money, and at some point you might get bored. While
you will lose interest for sure. I can see that as well. And I love that because even when I create the project The Always Believer and my workshops and my events and things like that, it's like I always know like money will come. It will flow to me. Right now, I just want to put it out there. And anytime when someone asks me about my podcast, about my videos, and I'm like, it doesn't matter where you are. You can be literally in your house, in your living room. If you just press play, if you just press start, if you just do the first step and do upload, it's scary. It's super scary to be perceived by so many. But it's like we were saying before, your tribe will be there. They will follow your vibe.
Yeah.
So,
and also, if you have it, if you think about it, it means that you can do it 100%.
True. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's already within you. It's like you know that you're capable of doing whatever it is that you want to achieve.
Otherwise,
it's like just do it.
Yeah.
True. Otherwise,
and that's why the sharing experiences room is so that other women can tell their stories and say, "You can do it as well.
You can do it.
So
you can do it. That's why we have the Always Believer podcast. You can do it. It's the You can do it vibes." All right, so the last 3 questions that I always ask all my beautiful guests is, tell me 3 adjectives that describe you.
So, passionate.
For sure.
Resilient. And full of life.
I love that one. Passionate, resilient, full of life. You can clearly tell. You can just clearly tell. My goodness. Question number 2, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful, at the moment I'm thankful for everything that I have. I'm thankful to be surrounded by this community of women who are supporting me, and I can support them, so it makes me feel really thankful.
Community. And last and definitely not least, where can we find you? Where can we follow you?
So follow us on the Instagram page, The Real Truth About Motherhood, where you will find all the information about the upcoming event, where you can buy tickets, what time, program, anything.
All right, there you go. We have it. All right. Thank you very much, Team Flyer. That was your podcast. I freaking adore all of you. Stay tuned because there's always more episodes, more special guests. And be sure that you're going to see plenty of our event here in my own personal one at Redondo. Bye.